Hi guys, Chef Pepper back, and now I've put the crabs and lobsters in the pot. Whenever you're taking a hot lid off of a pot, be careful of the steam. So I always like to use a pair of tongs. I'm going to place that in the sink, and I'm going to start taking them out. I put the crabs and the lobsters together, and these are just like they're a little under 2 pound lobsters, maybe a pound and 3/4 to pound and a half. Really nice. We're going to take them now. I'm not going to put them on ice to chill them down because I'm going to take these crabs and lobster and I'm going to make the chowder. I have to pick the meat. These are really, really nice crabs, and a lot of times the way that you can tell that the crabs are solid all the way through the inside is because the bottom of them have a nice yellow tint to them, like a dark yellow tint. That's a beautiful crab right there. Those are going to make a wonderful chowder. Now, shucking these crabs, you don't really want to do it when they're really hot like this. Oh, that is so beautiful. Oh, we lost the claw, but we're going to get it back. That is such a beautiful crab. We take them and we let them cool down. You don't have to chill them on ice unless you want to eat them cold. Or you want to store them. They naturally cool down pretty quick. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them while they're hot, and I'm going to show you guys how you preserve the juice from these crustaceans. You do not want to discard it. You want to actually use the juice that comes out of them after you cook them. So I'm going to turn that fire off, and I'm going to grab a couple of nice bowls right here so that we can preserve the juice that comes out of these crabs. Now guys, listen, don't do this yourselves. I have chef hands. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff for a long time, so my hands are pretty hard. But what you want to do is when you get a crab, I'm going to take all the legs and the claws. They're going to come off anyway. And what you want to do is when you peel the backs off of these crabs, all of that juice is going to go into here because there's a lot of fat that's stored around the inside of the shell. And when you're making a seafood chowder, all the combinations of the stocks and the flavors come from these crustaceans. So you don't want to discard it. You want to save as much as you can. And that just came out of boiling hot water. So we're going to leave it, give it there for 1 second. And it's the same thing with the lobsters. These are hard shells. So these are really good and solid. We're going to take the bands off these claws, and we're going to take the claws and the tails off. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that in a second. But you guys, I want you to be really careful when it comes to handling this hot stuff, because any of the fluid that comes out of any of these crustaceans is hot enough to burn you. It really can cause a bad, nasty burn. So you want to really be careful about that. The legs and the claws are going to have a nice amount of meat in them. So what we're going to do to make it a little easier, we're just going to take the claws right off. These are beautiful claws. These are huge. That's going to just be so beautiful in that chowder. We're going to just, and the way to snap the claws off, they're pretty easy. The natural way that they go, you want to just kind of pick the claw and turn it up so that you can get that claw in one good, clean, easy gesture. That has a little bit of juice coming out of that claw because that knuckle snapped. So you want to preserve that. That was a nice piece of meat that just came out of there. Sometimes the meat comes out real easy, guys, but like I said, that these are really hot. It might be a little better for you guys to let them completely cool and to see some of the juices coming out right here in the pan. And you want to save all of that because it's all really good. And make sure your pans are clean before you put your crabs in so that the fluid that comes out of them you can save. So I'm going to show you now. I want you to come in real close to observe what I'm doing. You can hold, the separation of the crab starts right here. You hold on to that back leg, and when you pull, that whole crab has all that fluid in it. See, that's really hot, guys. So I'm going to show you with these tongs. All that fluid just came out of that. That's what you want. And if you look inside the back shell, you'll see the fat that I'm talking about. A lot of people call that crab butter because it's pretty much the fat that they store up in their shell. This is Maine and the water's really cold. So that fat plays a major league part in the survival of the crab. And that's where it stores all its fat. And the females, they store their eggs before they come on the underbelly. These are males. So that's the juice that came out of one crab. And that's very flavorful, and that's going to help me produce that stock that I'm going to use as a base with the crabs and the lobster and the clams for my seafood chowder. I'm going to do one more for you guys so you guys can see how I did that. That back part of the last leg is where that shell rips off. This is a perfect place for you to put your thumb. You rip it off just like that, and that juice just pours right out. All right, and so now as for the lobster, the way that we do the lobster, we're gonna twist the tails. We're gonna twist the tails and the claws. The claws are the same thing. The claws, you pull, is one claw. Second claw, you pull. And now the tail, a lot of people like to twist, but what I like to do with my lobster is I like to use a clam knife, and be really careful, guys. There's a little indentation, wipe that off really good. There's an indentation that goes from the tail to the body. And what I'm gonna do is with the sharp part of the clam knife, I'm just gonna run it along the inside on the top and then twist. See, that's beautiful. There's the eggs, and that's the inside of the body. No juice came out of that. Just a little bit of the roe and a little bit of the body fat of the lobster. And we're gonna save all of this because this is what we're also gonna use to create our lobster stock, the flavor that is the basis for the seafood chowder. This is the way that it's properly made. This is gourmet style. It's not using a lobster base or a bouillon base or any kind of salted artificial flavors to make your chowder. This is the way a true chef makes a seafood chowder, using all the natural flavors from all the natural seafood combined. It's wonderful. So I'm gonna go ahead and shuck these, the rest of these clams and lobster, and then we're gonna start putting everything together. So stay tuned, guys. I will see you on part 3 of our seafood chowder. Bye for now.